Hi, this is Bob Iaccino coming to you from the CME Group trading floor in Chicago, talking Dow futures. Really interesting day in the equity markets overall with some very big news on three separate fronts. We had the Dow down 100 points overnight on the U.S. airstrikes on the Syrian airbase that we saw overnight. The Dow was under tremendous pressure and rallied back pretty nicely, rallied back to near flat, finishing the day down only about 7 points. Again, the extension that we saw last night in the selling started right at the point of the breaking news. Dow was down 38, and then within 15 minutes, we were seeing down triple digits. But it recovered mostly all of that, even turning positive during the course of the day. Now, we also had the payroll data's release, which is normally the most important thing of the month. It's definitely the most important economic data release, and that missed badly. It came out at 98,000 jobs on the headline number, expected at up 180 after a really strong ADP report on Wednesday, where a lot of houses were actually pushing up their headline estimates. Now, as you went deeper into the number, January and February were also reduced by a total of about 35,000 jobs between the 2 months, pushing that 3-month job average to right around 178,000 jobs a month. That's not enough to consider the Fed continuing their tightening spree. So that's where a lot of the recovery and strength came from. We had weak wage growth as well, weaker than expected out at up 0.3, came out at up 0.2. But both the U6 and the unemployment rate both fell. So it was a mixed bag. Now, it's showing weakness, but is that weakness real? This particular piece of data had a lot of weak components to it, but we don't know if that weakness is real because a lot of analysts are talking about it being weather related. You remember, this is the jobs number that related to the big winter nor'easter that we had on the East Coast that probably shuttered a lot of interviews and job creation that would have normally happened. If that's the case, we'll see it in the next job number in a tremendous outperformer, just a tremendously strong 3-digit number at least. We also had President Trump and the President of China, President Xi, meeting at Mar-a-Lago in Florida. Now, interesting because this particular airstrike that we saw in the Syrian airbase was meant to be a message that chemical weapons would not be tolerated. The use of chemical weapons would not be tolerated. But this was a message to multiple nations. It was a message to Iran and Russia for propping up the Assad regime, but it was also a message to China for their help or lack of help with the North Korean nuclear situation. North Korea continues to speed toward their development of more nuclear weapons, and they continue to test missiles, shooting them into the Sea of Japan, which makes Japan nervous and makes the U.S. nervous that they may be developing a warhead that could, or rather a missile that could contain a nuclear warhead that could reach the United States. So the timing of these particular airstrikes were interesting, with President Xi of China happened to be at Mar-a-Lago for their one-day meeting. He left without them making a joint statement. A lot of people speculating that that's a bit of nervousness with the way that the conversation went. But President Trump seemed to claim that they have a great relationship and they'll be moving forward with a lot of things, although again, no official statement coming out of that meeting. So again, the Dow finishing slightly lower, basically flat. This is Bob Iaccino talking Dow futures from the CME Group trading floor in Chicago.